Station online and be a part of WCTC's real-time talk. Like 1450 WCTC on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at 1450 WCTC. Jersey Central with Bert Barron.
Think we could listen to the radio or something?
On the new Talk Radio 1450 WCTC.
It's 7:08. Welcome to hour number 2 of Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. It's Bert. Good morning to you. Fair, 55. We'll get to the mid-70s today. Traffic and weather update at 7:15. Big day today on Capitol Hill. We'll talk about what's going on with former FBI Director James Comey coming up in just a little bit. But I want to welcome to the Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline, back to WCTC. Dr. Brian Chon is with us today from ProCure Proton Therapy Centers, and he's on to talk about, not specifically about pediatric cancers, but for one particular real feel-good story here in Central New Jersey. And how much does WCTC like ProCure? The studio that I'm sitting in right now is actually called the ProCure Studio. So you know that it's a great relationship that we have with ProCure. So, Dr. Chon, welcome back to WCTC. How you doing this morning?
Oh, thank you so much, Bert. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, and thanks for taking some time. I do a lot of work in this area, Dr. Chon, with cancer groups and pediatric cancer groups, and it's great to hear a feel-good story like the one you're going to share with us this morning. And this is about a young boy in the central New Jersey area who you were able to help.
Yeah, no, it's a remarkable story about a young man. He was 14 years old when we first met him, and this young man was just a usual happy 8th grader, and he unfortunately presented with new headaches, nausea, some changes in his vision, and that led him down a path where ultimately he was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor, which unfortunately was a big shock to both him and his family.
And the symptoms you said were kind of like headaches, nausea, and just something's wrong. I just don't feel right sort of thing, right?
Yeah, this young man was an avid baseball player, and he noticed that he wasn't able to concentrate. His sense of equilibrium and coordination started to be off, and I think the thing that really caused him to seek out help was the changes in vision. He started to notice double vision, all symptoms of something kind of brewing in the brain.
Wow. Now, can you talk specifically about what type of cancer he was diagnosed with, and usually what's the prognosis with this particular diagnosis?
Yes. No, first, as a general statement, the good news about pediatric brain tumors is that the majority of these cases are very, very curable. What this young man happens to be the most common malignant brain tumor that we see in children called a medulloblastoma. Now, historically, medulloblastomas were incurable, and these folks and these young children who were diagnosed with this, the outcome was going to be very, very grave. But over the last 15, 20 years, with the improvements in surgery and chemotherapy, and particularly with the addition of proton therapy, like I said, the majority of these kids are going to be curable and live a normal lifespan.
It's really remarkable what he's been able to achieve since you've been able there to work with him. But he's an active kid again and just living his life that every teenager should do, and just kind of being a boy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he's really getting his life back, and obviously he's got a lot of life to live with, like you said, a lot of teenage things coming his way, and a big future ahead of him. The thing that I do want to remark on, Bert, is this. I mean, a majority of these cases, in fact, 85% of these cases are going to be curable. But what we observed, and some of the statistics behind this, it was really alarming, that about 67% of all children who are diagnosed with a cancer, long-term survivors, 67% of these kids have at least one life-threatening medical condition, not from the cancer, but actually from the side effects caused by the treatments. 33% of these kids historically have 2 or more life-threatening conditions due to the therapy that they received in the past. So in some ways, when we think about pediatric tumors, we're dealing with some of the unintended consequences of our success, where we're curing these kids, But then, due to the toxicity and the side effects of our treatments, these children are dealing with the collateral damage of normal tissues that are being treated. So, as a part of the solution in all of this, is really where we're excited about is the role of proton therapy, where protons simply are able to eliminate much of the extra doses of radiation to the normal tissues. And as I've alluded to, as some of these children become long-term survivors because of the previous radiation treatments to the portions of their brain and portions of their spinal axis, they're dealing with heart conditions. They're dealing with secondary cancer risks associated with the exposure of radiation, hearing loss. We're able to radically reduce those conditions by leveraging the precision of proton beam therapy, and certainly we're extremely hopeful that this young man will live a normal life and never experience some of these dreaded side effects that have historically been a part of the process.
It just seems so backwards, Dr. Chon, that a potential treatment for something that could be a life-threatening thing doesn't comes with its own set of baggage and side effects, but the proton therapy, it's just remarkable the way that works, that these side effects now are kind of taken out of the equation. Long-term prognosis for him, is he pretty much clear? Will he need to be checked regularly?
Yes, we will obviously need to keep a close eye on his progress, and especially over the next several years. But we are very, very hopeful that this young man will go on to bigger and better things in life and enjoy a full life that all of our young parents are hopeful for our kids. So we're very, very hopeful.
Yeah, thanks to ProCure, of course. More information, Dr. Chon, website, phone number that people can. That's the best way to connect with you guys, right?
Absolutely. You can check us out at the ProCure New Jersey website and contact us anytime through the web or through our telephone number.
Terrific. Oh, I like a feel-good story, Dr. Chon. That's exactly what you brought to the table this morning, and I greatly appreciate it. Dr. Brian Chon from ProCure Proton Therapy Centers in Jersey, thanks for the time, Doctor, and we'll talk again soon, all right?